Hey, it's Jim. So in this conversation, I'm talking with my buddy from Australia, Francisco Alvarez Munoz. Francisco is a great guy. He's the president of the APAC Oracle user community, which is a very large number of user groups, probably about a dozen at this point. And he's also an Oracle ACE director. And he's also very well known for his work in the ACE community. And we talked about this upcoming APAC Oracle Groundbreakers virtual tour. Now, ordinarily, we would be obviously getting on airplanes and traveling to these different countries throughout the Asia-Pacific region to visit these user groups and have this conference, this sort of extended conference. But obviously, this year it's virtual. And so everything's going to be online. So it's open to everybody around the world. And we just talked a little bit about the technology that they'll be talking about. There'll be lots of Java, lots of cloud, and huge amount of Apex and database and some data science and developer tools as well. A little bit open source too. The conference will be in 4 languages: Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and English. And so it's coming up in November, the end of November, the first week of December. And he also spoke about they built a new platform for it, for interacting on the tour. So that'll be interesting to see. And in terms of how you collaborate online, the tools are getting better and better. So, but a lot of groups are building their own systems now, so that's really good. That's it. I will talk to you soon for the next conference. See ya. Francisco, how you doing, man? What's going on down there?
Oh, very good. Here, missing all the people, the activity, seeing the people face to face, but happy to be able to bring another virtual conference to this side of the world.
Cool. Yeah, I think the last time I spoke to you was probably about this time last year when you were doing this session last year. I don't think I've spoken to you since then. So I'm basically having some conversations with some of the Oracle ACE directors and the Groundbreaker ambassadors about the tours that we used to do. Now they're all obviously virtual and stuff. So I wanted to talk to you about the, as you can see, I can see it in your background there, the APAC virtual tour, which is coming up. And I see the dates are the end of November, the beginning of December, last week of November 22nd, you guys are starting?
Yes. November 22nd up to December 7th.
Okay. And so when I spoke to you last year, the thing that struck me about this was that you just sort of, ordinarily when things were live, we used to travel and go to different cities, and it would be over the span of a couple of weeks. And you're still continuing that concept of doing a multi-week virtual tour. That's what happened last year. And the same thing is happening this year, right? You got multiple weeks here.
That's correct. We have basically is a little bit over 2 weeks, the event. And that's basically done to allow us to do, as you mentioned, very similar way that we did physically in the past, because the difference of this tour is we are reaching many different cultures and countries in the Asia-Pac. That means we use this 16, 17 days to be basically able to have sessions on 4 different languages: English, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean. And also speaking a lot of different tracks and technologies such as cloud, databases, analytics and data science, Java, applications, development tools and framework, APAC, security, and much more. And that's why we have this time frame to allow us to go through all the different language sessions. And also some other countries like China, Japan, they prefer to their sessions to be weekends more than weekdays. And this way we can accommodate everyone.
Right. Yeah, that's really good. So it's all right. So you got 4 languages, and how many speakers are you planning this year?
We plan to get very close to last year that we got just over 100 sessions.
Wow.
Last year we got 108 108 speakers and 184 sessions.
Wow. That's just massive. I know EMEA this is the European tour that's going on right now. I think there were about 70 or so speakers. If you're going to clock in at 100, that's just amazing. How do you manage multiple weeks? I had this conversation with Sai as well, for the India group, about how you manage such a massive number of disparate parts. I mean, 180 sessions, 100 speakers, 2 weeks, all virtually. You can't leave your house when you're doing this. At least when you're physical, you can get up and move around, right?
Yes, and the secret to be able to do something like that is teamwork. And if I was going to do by myself, it's impossible. Even with a team. Yeah. Last year, I was with my iPad starting sessions, monitoring sessions, monitoring the chat on my iPad on my boat. I was doing things with the family in the boat, in the house, anywhere in my house, on my car, basically stopping the car where I am, connecting the iPad, start the session, and go. Once, one of the sessions, I had the incident that I forgot to put myself on mute, and I was driving and complaining with other drivers, and the speaker of the session was not happy with that until he let me know that I forgot to put myself on mute.
Oh, that's
but
good.
It's hard. We are able to do the APAC this way because last year we have 11 user groups working together.
Right.
This year we are 15.
Wow.
And we have members from the Java user groups from Japan, from the Oracle user group Japan, and so on. They help to manage the sessions in Japanese. From China, we have 3 or 4 user groups from China that we also try to get volunteers from them to work and manage the sessions. The same with the Korean, for the Korean Oracle user group, and for the English ones, we have Java user groups from Melbourne, Java user groups for Sydney, New Zealand user group, Independent Australia user group, Singapore Oracle user group. And now we also have from India, the new India APAC Oracle user group that will working with us. They will be working, managing the APAC sessions. Very happy because we had a huge amount of submissions for APEX. That means we will have amazing content for that track. We also have the Nepal Oracle user groups that join APAC UC to help us, and we are growing. And hopefully that will happen. Then when we have face-to-face events, we will be able to do the same that implementing in Latin America. When I started that concept over there, is we're able to go to 12 or 13 countries physically. That will be amazing.
Yeah. So you mentioned, actually, there's a few things in there. Okay. So you're the president of the APAC user community, right?
Yes, for the umbrella user group, correct.
Okay. And you work individually with leaders of all these different groups.
Correct.
And so when you're organizing a tour of this, it's constant communication with all those different leads all the time. How many different people are you interacting with at any given time? Like
we
your
have
team,
52
basically.
people.
52 people.
Yes.
Wow.
It's chaotic.
Wow. I didn't realize.
Get the dates, get the selection, get everything to have 52 people to vote.
Right.
Give their input. Now that is... It's time consuming.
Yeah. So that's basically the organizing committee. All right. So, I mean, that's really impressive. Interesting. And you also mentioned that you were sort of the originator or at least collaborative of some of these other tours that we see, right? The physical ones that we did. Yes.
I created the first concept back in 2009 for the Latin American one and organized 7 of the tours, the first 7 initial ones. I was at that time the president of LALC, the Latin American Oracle user community, the umbrella, the same of the APAC UC. I helped that a long time ago organize the Yatra tour when they started, give some ideas with the organization at that time. The same, the Middle East, Europe, Middle East one, the EMEA one when they started, and the APAC tour. The APAC tour, we are already 12 years running APAC tour in Asia Pacific already.
Amazing. So I know I've asked you this question before about community building. This is obviously something you've done a lot of over the years. It still is in your blood. I mean, you're still going. You still love it.
I don't know. One day I'm going to retire. I just hope to have people that can take over things, because I'm still president of many user groups in Chile, New Zealand, Independent Australia. I helped to found in Singapore, and now they put me as a president too, because I'm the one that have all the initiatives. But I would love to have people that I can give the baton and they can start taking over, because of course, I'm getting older, and getting older, the things are not getting easy.
Yeah, both of us. You mentioned that there were a lot of submissions this year for Apex, and I've certainly noticed. I mean, everybody has noticed the real increase in the last few years in that community. Are there any other trends that you're noticing? Because you're taking submissions for obviously hundreds of people. You must have seen some trends recently, aside from Apex, about what's changed. You mentioned Java, database applications, data science. This is all stuff. These are all sessions in at the conference. Are there any trends that you're noticing? Anything changing?
It's not a big change. It's still basically, I think so, the same trend that have not changed, in my opinion, the last 2-3 years. We're still having tons of people that want to know about automation, open source capabilities, including database tools that can interact with the cloud, can interact with the databases itself, development frameworks itself, blockchain still a hot topic, and a topic that in the past was very, very high. A few years back, they basically disappeared, started to coming back, is security. With all the ransomware situations, PCI compliance, HIPAA, the European one, and so many, the people start to pushing back that trend of security again. That's something that I'm noticing too.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. All righty. So is there anything else we need to talk about? I mean, did I leave anything out? It seems like you're really busy. You're going to be starting in a few weeks, or a couple of weeks anyway.
Yeah, we hope so. The as you know, the call for paper ended. The selection just was completed yesterday. We are working today, tomorrow, the next 2-3 days on the agenda. When the agenda is ready, the website for allowing registrations will be up, and where the people globally will be able to register for free to the event. The event, as we spoke, will be just over 2 weeks, but will be the same concept of last year. You will have the 2 weeks having the sessions live, but after the conference finished, the recordings of the sessions will be available in the website of the conference for another 2 to 3 weeks, where the people can also review sessions, watch another ones that they miss. They can ask questions to the speakers even after the session. They can, in the page of the session, put some comments, questions, and the speaker will be notified. They can respond. I just will apologize in advance any technical issues during the event. We are deploying a new
I was going to ask you what you're using.
We are building our own platform.
Oh, good. So you're not going to use Zoom?
No, we use the integration with Zoom, yes. But last year we used the Hey Summit as a platform of the event. This year we're using Como. Okay. Como is a community platform that my team is developing and using basically my experience with user groups and other communities around the world with their input, and making a community and event management, membership management, all in one thing that hopefully the community will start using and they will like. But we're still beta testing, adding functionalities. The go live is end of Q1 of next year. That means we're still working with a lot of bugs and fixing things. That means hopefully everything goes well.
So Q1 of next year go live. That means that the conference itself is going to be a big beta test.
Is one of the big beta tests we're doing.
Beta test.
We were able to run the call for papers, the voting system in the background. Everything was done by our using our system.
Oh, cool.
And hopefully we can do everything else without problems too.
Now, how many total people are you expecting? You got about 100 speakers, 180 sessions or so. What about the attendees?
Last year, we just got under 3,000.
Wow.
If we can go over that this year, it would be amazing.
Yeah. That's a lot of people. Fortunately, it's spread out. You got a couple of weeks. And it's also very interesting that, with the different languages. So, because that's a big problem in some countries if it's only in English, right? So that might help to boost up the attendees. So, all right, Francisco, cool, yep. Very good. This is the Oracle Groundbreakers APAC Virtual Tour, November 22nd through December 7th. Everyone's going to be there. Hundreds of sessions, thousands of speakers, millions of attendees. Everyone's going to be there.
We're just going to be missing you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, hopefully next year we do it live, huh?
Hopefully.
All right. Thanks, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. Be good.
Talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.